How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tales from the Darkside. This is Season 1, Episode 20, and this one's entitled Levitation. This is from May 19th, 1985, directed by John Harrison and stars Joseph Turkel. The teleplay was by David Gerrold, and is based on a short story by Joseph Payne Brennan. And this is about this guy who drags his best friend all the way out to a carnival in the middle of nowhere because he's big into magic and one of his heroes is performing there. However, when he starts doing his tricks, he realizes that he's not doing any of the good tricks, none of the stuff he's famous for. It's just stuff that anybody could do. And he confronts him after the show. He's like, why aren't you doing your big, amazing tricks? This is beneath you. Why aren't you doing stuff like wireless levitation? And that trick brings back memories. You see, he's the only guy, other than Houdini, that was able to successfully pull off wireless levitation. And he only did it 4 times in England. But there's a good reason why he's not doing this again now. That magic had a terrible price, but the kid is too young and enthusiastic, and he doesn't see the danger behind it. But there's a good reason why he's not doing any of his old magic, but of course the kid is going to try to pressure him into it. This episode is a really great episode. I think it's one of the better ones of the season. It's got lots of cool stuff behind it. Good characters and a sense of tension and mystery as to what's going on with the magic. Let's talk about the characters. A really good contrast. A young adult, really big into it, really full of belief. He believes in magic. He wants to see the amazing stuff. He wants to see the cool big things. But the older guy, really washed up, really down on his luck, the thing that the younger man likes has taken a toll on him, and he is very dismissive of it, and he's content with living the rest of his life in this hidden, small town carnival. It's really, really interesting, the dynamic, the young versus old here. And I said this a lot, there's a very human element in Tales from the Darkside. I like to think of it as, it's kind of like the Twilight Zone, but written by someone who's really been beat down by the world, I mean, look at a few of the past episodes. Slippage, where a guy is being literally forgotten about by the entire planet. Painkiller, where a guy's just randomly in physical pain and he'll do anything to get out of it. Even like the Tear Collector, a woman who is sad constantly and doesn't know why. There's a lot of real human emotion in Darkside, and of course when they do a big magical character, they're not gonna make him just this grandiose, powerful wizard. He's someone that's been through a lot. He's been run down by life. And that's really one of the dark side themes, is how life itself can wear at you. And this is a pretty good example of that. But also, a ton of really cool build-up in here. He's wanting the other guy to do a trick. And it's gonna lead to the second magic show, where he's gonna try to pressure him into it. And oh man, the tension is so high here. But also the mystery, why doesn't he want to do the trick? What does he mean, the cost of great power, And I've said this a lot with Tales from the Darkside, but I definitely could have got more time out of this story. If this was an hour-long block instead of a half-hour-long block, it would have been so cool to go into this guy's past more and understand him better. But as it stands now, it's just really tight and moves really fast, in a good way, but I could totally have seen more of it. And of course, I won't spoil the ending, but a very, very striking ending to this. A visual And then when the credits come on, the credits are almost like a hard smash cut, like, it's over, guys. That's how we're gonna leave it. That happened. It sucks, and we're done. You know, and I really love the ending of this episode here. It's pretty cool. So, a good ending, lots of tension, lots of history and mystery, and of course, a great character dynamic. The young versus old, the optimistic, the beat down. You know, it's got a lot going for it. It's a really, really solid episode, so definitely recommend it. I think this is definitely one of the better ones this season. Anyway, without further ado, I do want to analyze the plot in a little bit more detail. I'll be avoiding the major spoilers, so I won't talk about that ending, but I do want to analyze it a little more thoroughly, so let's dive into the plot. We open up with these two friends. They've driven 75 miles to this carnival in the middle of nowhere, and of course, you get the one friend that's the big magic nerd. He's really into it, he's really excited, and the other friend doesn't really want to be there and will kind of be trying to drag him back into reality a little bit. But the magic nerd is talking about how great this guy is and all the tricks he's done, and we get to hear a little bit of a history of wireless levitation. The idea that there's only been two people that's done this, Harry Houdini and this magician named Karma, who they're going to go see perform tonight, and they say that Karma learned the trick because he contacted Harry Houdini's ghost, and the ghost was able to tell him how to do it, and so he's the only other guy that's ever done it, and he only performed it for 4 nights in London, and he's talking about having read all this in the newspaper and done his research, and you really do get the sense that this is like the history of magic. I mean, obviously Karma is a made-up magician for the show, but he really does talk about it like he knows his history, and it sort of brings into this episode the whole history of magic that, you know, really makes it feel a lot more real, and you really do get to understand this character's passion and his drive behind why he wants to go there. So yeah, his knowledge sells that he's a nerd, but also sells to the audience that this is all real events, historical magic, you know? But anyway, the friend says, okay, if he's so great, if he's such a big, important figure in the history of magic, why is he here? And that's a good point. This carnival is kind of a rundown carnival, middle of nowhere. I mean, you'll have a magician here, but not the biggest magician. Why would he be here? And of course, the nerd friend will kind of brush all that aside and say, oh, don't worry about it, we're gonna see him, it's gonna be great. But maybe he shouldn't have brushed him aside. Maybe that should have been your first clue that not everything is as it seems. You know, and you do get, it's a fun little carnival set. It's obviously a small set, but they do a good job with the booths and the banners. You know, it's Darkside. It's obviously a lower budget show, but they do put together a cool little carnival for the budget. But anyway, they go in to see the show, and he starts to do all these tricks. He comes out, and he starts doing magic, and these tricks are literally, I think most of them are real tricks you can learn to do yourself. And they shoot it from a wider angle, and there is longer takes, so it does feel almost documentary-like you're really watching a magic show. They do cut away to show characters' reactions and emotions, and I kind of wish they didn't do that, because if you got these whole tricks in one take, it would really sell the idea of a real magic show. But of course, this is TV and we have to cut to reaction shots and stuff. But a wider documentary style for these shots, which I thought was pretty interesting. But like I said, these are all real tricks you can learn how to do in real life. So, not wireless levitation, not anything big and crazy and magical. And the guy says to his friend after the show, what was that? He's the greatest magician of all time. Why is he doing tricks that I could do, you know? Why is he doing this when he should be doing so much better? So he decides to go and talk to the guy backstage. His friend, of course, doesn't want to, but he goes back there and they meet the lady, the magician's assistant, and she says, look, he doesn't want to see you. We do this show 4 times a night. We're tired. We're on break. Leave us alone. Which I really do like. You see them in the back. You know, they're big, impressive show people. But in the back, they're like anyone else after their job, just tired and wanting to get through the day. Again, the real human element that Darkside brings out. You know, he's a magician, but he's like, oh gosh, I'm on break, leave me alone. But they, of course, go back there despite her warning, and he says, hey, I don't want to talk to you, but the guy says, you're the greatest, and you see in this conversation, he actually believes in magic, and he says, you're capable of so much, why are you doing this? And of course, the guy starts to try to talk him down. It's misdirection, it's illusion, it's smoke and mirrors. But then the kid brings up wireless levitation. And that kind of changes his tone. Don't talk about that trick. But you did it 4 times in London. Well, I've only done it 3 times successfully. You don't know what kind of power that takes out of you. You don't know the cost. And then you also find out that the 4th person he did it on was his own daughter, and something horrific must have happened. What is the cost of all that power? But of course, they're going to go and see a second show after already having all this exchange, and the tension in the next show is pretty high. And you're wondering what's going to happen, and I won't spoil it, but the ending of this episode, where you do see what the cost of that power was, yeah, this episode has a pretty crazy ending, and then a really hard, you know, it's over, and you're just kind of left going, dang, that's nuts, you know, and it is one of those hard-hitting endings I really do like, but yeah, lots of tension, history, mystery as to what exactly happened. It's a really cool episode, and I definitely would recommend it. It's got a lot going on for it. It's really, really cool, and I'd have to say one of the better ones of the season. But anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist. If you want to see me talk about more episodes of the show, I've covered all the past episodes, so that's the first 19. And I also cover the Christmas episodes and the Joe Hill comics, so there is a lot in there. So if you guys want to see more, you can click right there and see more. Anyway, have a good day.